and also like the ultimate bodhicitta. So that is the relative bodhicitta, and when we speak of ultimate bodhicitta, the ultimate bodhicitta refers to the Buddha's wisdoms and wisdoms of the bodhisattvas, if you are familiar with that. As I said earlier, we use the term called wisdom just to distinguish the difference between the mind of ordinary being and the noble ones. So therefore, we use the term called wisdom. According to Tibetan and translation of the Sanskrit word, when we say it's called primordial wisdom. Primordial wisdom has of course, it has a meaning, which means as far as our true nature of the mind is concerned, from the very beginningless time, though all these negative emotions and obscuration coexisted, but they had never been able to, let's say, able to change the true nature of the mind. They coexisted, but they, for example, it is, they give the example of cloud and the space. Like there are, the cloud, when the cloud can cover the moon, can cover the space, but it cannot change the space. It's just there temporarily. When the wind blows around, then the cloud will be blown away, and then we can see space. The space never changes. In the same way, our true nature of the mind and ignorance, all this obscuration, they coexisted from the beginningless time. Okay, but true nature of the mind is the real nature of the mind, and the deluded obscuration, everything is temporary. Is not nature of our mind. Therefore, by applying remedy, we will be able to get rid of that. Like for example, we can get rid of the cloud, but we can't get rid of the space, isn't it? We cannot do that. In the same way, by applying remedy, we will be able to get rid, though they coexisted beginningless time. We can make an end to our obscurations and deluded mind, but there is no end to the Buddha nature mind, to our Buddha nature mind. So when we make an end to our deluded mind, that will be the end of samsara, or samsara we can say, because that's the point when we reach enlightenment. There is one example in one of these sutras. He gives the example of this water, and he says, right now the water is very clear, it's very pure. Now if I throw some dust into it, then the dust will impure the whole water, and the water will exactly look like the dust. So we think that now the dust has completely changed the nature of the water, but that is not so. We all know that, because if we do not stir it, and if we just leave it like that for some moment, when the dust goes down, water comes, goes down, then the water comes into its own nature. So in the same way, the dust is like the negative emotions and in everything, and the water is like true nature of the mind. So it does seem like it's completely deluded. That's because we stir it all the time. That's like we engage only in negative emotions all the time, and karma, negative emotion, karma, negative emotion. We never care about true nature of the mind. Maybe we never thought about that at all. So we have no idea that, okay, we are Buddha, for example. So I mean, of course, we wouldn't think about true nature of the mind. Naturally, we won't see that. So all we saw was the dust. We never saw the water, actually. So now when okay, behind this dust there is the water, then you can get rid of the dust. So yes, it is like that. Water, like we can't, like for example, water, the nature of the water cannot be changed, by the dust. So we can remove it. In the same way, this negative emotion, everything, so can be removed through the path, through these meditations and all the path, the Buddha, from the Buddha's instructions. So that is the way how we, let's say, realize or ultimate bodhicitta. Ultimate bodhicitta is the embodiment of clarity and emptiness. That's what we usually see. Clarity and emptiness. Clarity refers to the wisdom aspect. So therefore, and emptiness refers to being free from the ignorance all the time. It always was free from ignorance all the time. It never was actually, let's say, impaired by the ignorance, but it is only that we didn't see that. So therefore we call primordial wisdom, because from the beginningless time, true nature of the mind has never been actually deluded by the ignorances or the obscurations. So, and it is why it is called Buddha nature, why it is called bodhicitta, is because this bodhicitta is developed on the path. Like for example, we speak of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. So when for the first time when one realizes emptiness, that is actually the point when you become free from ignorance. It's the first stage. At that point of time, then your wisdom and the wisdom of Buddha is actually exactly the same. In the sense it has all the qualities, but they are not one. So therefore you have seen it, but still we have not yet stabilized the the emptiness. So therefore it takes some time to stabilize that. So therefore we speak of 10 bodhisattva, different stages of these bodhisattvas. And these 10 bodhisattva stages are 10 different stages where you gradually remove all of this ignorance or the obscurations in you. And once when that is removed, that is called enlightenment. So therefore bodhicitta, we speak of bodhicitta in the sense like, because it is not only Buddha, but bodhisattvas on the path, they also have developed that. So the nature of bodhisattva and bodhicitta is same. That is, the unconditional loving kindness, compassion for all sentient beings. It says in one of the sutra again. For the bodhisattvas, they give the example of bodhisattva. Bodhisattvas, even just to benefit one single sentient being, if there is a karmic link, they would gladly take rebirth in the, let's say, worst of the hell realms and benefit them. And that is because of that kind of unconditional loving kindness, compassion in them, just for one sentient being. If there are karmic link, that is also possible. And because of that kind of accomplishment of bodhicitta, that is actually again possible. So that is why I was saying in the very beginning that bodhicitta is born from loving kindness, compassion that we actually experience right now. It becomes limitless only when you realize emptiness, because then you become free from attachment, as I was saying all the time. That is actually how it becomes. So we have to right now, what the important thing for us as a beginner is to develop this, loving kindness, compassion, which is already there in us, every day in our everyday life. If one wants to become very, in the one of the Buddha's teaching, and one of the great scholars says that if you want to benefit yourself and if you want to help others, the first thing that you have to do is you have to benefit others. By benefiting others, you actually benefit yourself. You do not have to think for yourself. If you love others, others will love you. If you hate others, naturally others will hate you. So that is actually the moral line. So if you love others, you naturally would help others, and if you naturally help others, others will help you. So we don't have to think that other people do not help me. It's actually yeah. So that is what it is. Nature of this is the nature of actually the world. What happens? So therefore, if we develop this frame of mind in us, we don't only become a very good human being, we also become physically, or our appearances also changes. It is said in Buddha's teaching that the effect of loving kindness, compassion in the person is very effective, in the sense like it shows in their appearance as well.